revealed no clothing, no blood, no remains. Investigators began suggesting theories that made the family sick, that the girls had run away, that they'd become lost and succumbed to the elements, or even worse, that someone within the family had been involved. But there was no proof, just speculation and silence. By spring of the following year, the case was reclassified from active search to cold file. It sat in a drawer in the Miller County Sheriff's Office, labeled only by a number and a worn photograph of two smiling sisters. The detectives who once worked around the clock moved on to other cases. The town, slowly and uneasily, returned to routine. The children at school stopped asking questions. The flyers were removed from telephone poles, now weathered and stained. From months of rain and snow, the Harpers couldn't bear it. Their home had become a place of unbearable memories. Lucy's shoes still sat by the front door. Emily's favorite stuffed rabbit was still in her bed, untouched. Every creak of the floorboards sounded like footsteps. Every knock at the door felt like a possibility, and every time, it wasn't. 6 months after the girls vanished, the Harpers sold the farm and moved out of Miller's Hollow. They didn't hold a funeral. There were no goodbyes, just boxers, silence, and an aching hole that no one dared speak about in public. But even as the case faded from headlines, a strange sense of unease settled over those who had been part of the search. Several volunteers privately admitted to having unsettling dreams after scouring the Harper property, of laughter echoing through the woods, of masked figures standing just out of sight, or of walking into the barn and seeing movement from the shadows above. Of course, no one reported these dreams officially. They were dismissed as stress, imagination, trauma. Still, the feeling lingered that something was left behind. Something important, something deliberately hidden. Nearly 3 years had passed since Lucy and Emily Harper vanished, and the farm had long since been abandoned. Vines crept up the rotting porch, shingles peeled off the roof like curling leaves, and the barn's red paint had faded to a cracked, ghostly pink. The property, left unsold and unclaimed, became a quiet void on the edge of Miller's Hollow, too painful for the townspeople to visit, too eerie for trespassers. That is, until a young urban explorer, known online as Shad Zero W. Walker, decided to cross the fence. Shad Zero W. Walker, whose real name was Aaron Keller, had built a following online exploring abandoned buildings across the Midwest. His videos were moody, full of static and jump cuts, always narrated in a soft, curious voice. But this time, something felt different. The day he filmed at the Harper farm, the air seemed heavier. His audio crackled more than usual. His equipment glitched strangely whenever he neared the barn. Still, the location was irresistible, a real-life missing persons case tied to a decaying farmhouse no one